Take one. Assalamu alaikum. Welcome to another Marriage Monday.
Sorry, we
don't have a Monday. Take two. Welcome to Marriage Mondays, where we spend Mondays talking about marriage. My name is Amir.
Let's start over, but more like not like crazy.
Assalamu alaikum.
Amir, I'm gonna strangle you. Let's do it.
Alright. Assalamu alaikum. Welcome to Marriage Mondays, where we spend Mondays talking about marriage. My name's Amir.
My name is Kamara.
And today we're going to talk about...
Were you really ready to get married?
Question of the week. What's your ideal age of getting married?
Like, is it around 20, 25? Let us know.
Now let's air it out there.
First, let's start off by saying, alhamdulillah, we do have a happy marriage.
Right. As you can we make the video? Okay, you want to come to me?
We are in a happy marriage. And obviously it was meant for us to be married. And... made this istikhara, and obviously this was our plan. But let's kind of talk about if we could reverse.
Yeah.
Would we do it again, and was it really should we have gotten married?
All right, since I'm a guy, if I say it first,
I should say it first.
Yeah. If we, 5 years ago, you
almost
have six, you have knowing what you know. Well, not knowing what you know.
Yeah, knowing who I am now.
Yeah. Would you have gotten married when you were?
Let's give a little bit of backstory for those who haven't watched our story videos, because that's what, 3 parts. We got married pretty quickly. It was a 2-month process. Our families introduced us. I think as the individual I am today, I don't know if I would do it. It was such a short process, and I feel like there was a lot that I could have done, learned about myself and about marriage in general. And kind of just being, just growing into an adult. I was 20 years old, 19 when we met, 20 when we got married, because it was only a couple months apart. But I was still, a kid,
Yeah.
I was a kid. I didn't know how to be a wife. Obviously, there's things that you learn in marriage.
Right.
But I definitely feel I kind of just grew as a person.
Right.
And I feel like maybe, that self-growth that, that could have occurred would have kind of helped me in our first year of marriage, because the first year of marriage is really hard, especially as, a young person.
Yeah. I mean, for me, I was, I'm 2 years older?
You're 3, so you're 23.
3, so I was 23, so, I mean, I had graduated and everything, but at that time, I really didn't want to get married, and so... looking back at it, I also probably wouldn't have gotten married. I think that one of the reasons that I did is because I was being pressured so much by my family and the people around me that I decided to, pursue a process and things like that I wasn't ready for. And then, when we first got married, I feel like it showed that I really didn't necessarily want to be in a marital relationship.
I agree.
I mean, I was really in the beginning, I was kind of it was all about me, right? I was all right, I'm married, but I'm gonna live my life. Not that I'm partying or drinking or anything like that, obviously, but I was still,
in that kind of
right, everything was about me, what I wanted to do. If I was gonna go to the gym and work out for 2 hours, that's what I would do.
Yeah, that's exactly what you would do.
When I got home from work, if I wanted to study and stay after work for a couple hours, that's what I would do. And then if I come home, she'd be there. I'd say, hey, get my stuff and go work out. And and so I think because I was forced into a situation where I had an extreme amount of pressure to marry someone. I never really got the chance to
learn how to be a husband.
Not learn how to be a husband, but rationalize that I wanted to get married, and then I think I would have been a lot more whatever. I would have been a lot more into the marriage thing. I can't think of the word, but there it is. As far as being 23, I mean, was I at an age where I could get married? Yes. But at that stage in my life, I don't think I was ready to marry Kamara.
Were you ready to marry somebody else? That how it just sounded.
No,
just
like I didn't know you, right? Like it's things like that. It's
okay,
like,
yeah.
It's like ready to marry someone who I had no ties or connection to.
Mm-hmm.
So that's not to say like.
Yeah, okay, I see what you're saying.
I probably would have been ready to marry someone else that I knew, right?
Yeah.
But someone who I didn't know and who I was just kind of
just meeting.
I wasn't ready to marry someone at that stage. So like if you know someone from your whole life, like since you're 5, 6 years old, right? Childhood friend, you marry them. It's not like not as much changes because you know that person better. There's a connection there, but to build like a marital connection with someone who you don't have a familiarity with is a lot more cumbersome, right?
I would definitely agree. I definitely would agree, and I think that really like reflected in our first year of marriage. Like I said, our first year of marriage, like it was awkward. It was overcoming a lot of like Amir was saying how for him it was like me type of thing. But for me, being raised as a woman, we are constantly told it's not about me. It's about him. So honestly, like I didn't want to voice my opinion. I didn't want to disagree with anything. I didn't want to, cause any kind of inconvenience. Mm-hmm. And I think if I would have waited, a little bit more, maybe like a couple of years, honestly, and kind of realize that in a marriage it's not about him, it's a we thing, and there's nothing wrong with voicing your opinion, there's nothing wrong with disagreeing, and there's nothing wrong with, being that inconvenience that people try to make women out to be when we have an issue with a certain situation. So being the person I am now and having more confidence to be able to voice my opinion and be, and disagreeing, I just feel like a lot of confidence would have been built up if in a marriage and like myself, if I would have waited a little bit more.
Yeah, I feel like that definitely would have changed the dynamics of the relationship if we had both been in a more mature state of mind, right? Mm-hmm. And I think that like for me, I'm not the type of guy who's like searching for, a woman who's, very submissive and, doesn't have an opinion. It's like all women, obviously they have opinions, but a lot of, and culturally, a lot of women are
taught to be more
submissive and, and not to question certain actions. And growing up in the culture that I did, and my mother was a very strong woman, and I'm used to someone who's very very much proactive, someone who's taking action and very assertive, and so getting with someone who's like very submissive, right? It's very well initially, right? Like someone who's like it was kind of, for me it was really annoying. Like I'd just be like what are you like? What are you talking about?
He would be like, listen, you're an adult, you're a grown woman.
Yeah, but she'd always ask, like, I would always get questions like, oh, should I do this? Should I do that? And it was very like simple. It was at the time it was very simple actions like can I go to the store or something like that, right? That might not be exactly what she said.
No, that was definitely questions I would ask. Like, can I leave the house?
But I'd be like, what are you? Like, why are you asking me these questions? Like, you can go to the store. What am I gonna do? Beat you for leaving the house? Like, so like that's the type of stuff I would literally say stuff like that. But it's like I'm not like you're a grown, like I would like you're in my mind it's like you're a grown woman, like you're gonna live your life. I'm gonna live my life. We're just married, Yeah. But at the same time, there is a degree of responsibility that the man does have over his family in general, right? And that is being the protector, the provider, and things of that nature. And so it is, you know, your wife goes to the store, you know, if it's late at night, right? Obviously, you should go with your wife.
Another thing that I wish we would have done, I wish we would have spent more time, spent more time discussing, you know, those difficult questions like, what do you expect from a wife? What do I expect from a husband? You know, things like that, because we didn't talk about anything like that.
Yeah.
We kind of just, you know, not so much like my dad didn't really let us talk until we technically got engaged. But, you know, when we did talk, it was, you know, kind of just getting to know each other on like a surface level, I would say, and not really getting to know what we thought.
I wouldn't even say that. It was just seeing if we could
be in the same room together.
Yeah, like spend time together and have a good time, right?
So I wish we would have had the opportunity, or even had, like, you know, it brought up to us, hey, you guys should probably be asking some questions, like, you know, how do you expect to raise a child? What are your, you know, beliefs on this and that? And that's a lot of stuff that we kind of figured out as we went.
Yeah, I think like, going off of that, that's where maturity comes in. If you're not at a position in your life where you can comfortably ask someone the difficult questions, like, give us a difficult question.
Do you have any childhood trauma? You know, do you have a record? What are your parenting styles? What's another one?
How do you plan on disciplining our children when we have them? Do you want to have children?
Do you want to have children?
Right.
Yes. How many kids do you want?
Right. Things like that. If you're not in a position where you can comfortably ask these questions, then you're not ready to get married.
Oh, not just that, but also, what is your love language, you know? Because it's like, if you have no idea, like, you've never really been with another person, you have to realize that people love differently, you know? Like, for example, how when we first got married, when you apologized, you didn't say, I'm sorry.
I mean,
you said, I'm sorry.
I think it's a little... Yeah, I don't know. If you're getting married for the first time, I think it's hard. You can't ask, like... You can't really ask, like...
What is your love? How do you want to be treated, you know? What makes you feel loved, you know? Okay, that's what I mean by your love language. What makes you feel loved, and how do you express love? He just does not want us to make videos. Because he's fine when we're not talking to the camera. Okay, Suli, how do you feel?
What do you feel about, how do you feel about the situation? You're right here in front of the camera. Camera's up here, though.
To you.
Trying to snap your fingers.
Whoa! I don't think there's anything wrong with people getting married young.
Yeah.
To sum this whole video up, because clearly Sully wants us to stop. But there's a lot of things to take in consideration when you're trying to get married as a young individual and as a young Muslim. And these are just things that I would have liked, you know, now as an older person, 6 years into marriage. I wish things kind of would have been differently, and I feel like it really would have changed our first, like, 3 years of marriage.
Yeah, definitely agree. Yeah, so if you made it to the end of the video, we want to thank you for watching. Remind you to like, comment, and subscribe if you're not subscribed already. As always.
Okay, baby.